A young woman with a face almost too beautiful to be real was suddenly pulled into a story she herself never expected. That woman was Lily Ho, once called the goddess of gymnastics as a child, but later labeled by society as the daughter who had to sacrifice herself to pay her father's debts. The moment she held the hand of Kin Ming Lam, a man 51 years older than her, was the moment her fate quietly shifted. Born on September 27, 1988 in Hong Kong, Lily Ho grew up in a wealthy family thanks to the business success of her father, Ho Sai Khan. He was once known as the shop king of Cheung owning an entire row of properties in Cheung Wan, where each shophouse generated thousands of US dollars in monthly rent. With such a foundation, Lily and her older sister, Gigi Ho, lacked nothing. On the contrary, they were surrounded and raised with the best of everything, from international schools to a villa of nearly 10,000 square feet, along with a full team of domestic staff. From a very young age, Lily carried the gentle, refined air of a billionaire's daughter straight out of a novel. What made her truly remarkable, however, was her linguistic talent and artistic sensitivity. She studied classical piano, spoke 5 languages fluently, and could converse with foreigners effortlessly. Yet instead of indulging her completely, her father wanted to nurture that potential. So when Lily expressed interest in gymnastics, he immediately hired a former national team coach to train her privately every day. Thanks to this deliberate investment, by the age of 6, Lily Ho already had a training schedule intense enough to surprise even seasoned athletes. In the morning, she practiced balance, at noon she worked on floor routines, and in the evenings she focused on strength training. Despite the packed schedule, she remained composed and persistent, completing each session with quiet determination. A year later, she earned her first achievement by bringing home a bronze medal. By age 10, with 6 hours of training a day, she continued to secure top placements in competitions. Under the spotlight, her face glowed even brighter. Viewers began calling her the goddess of gymnastics, not only for her talent, but also for her striking appearance. Large eyes, a straight nose, and a flexible figure that reminded many of a Western doll. As she entered adulthood, Lily continued to prove she was talented, knowledgeable, and grounded. She ranked in the top 10 at her international school and later was accepted into the University of Hong Kong, HKU, majoring in commerce. From there, her image became even more flawless, polite, friendly, and approachable, without the arrogance one might expect from a wealthy heiress. However, after graduating, she refused to work for her father's company because she wanted independence. Her decision to join Asia Television, ATV, as a travel show host in 2006 surprised the media, but her innocence and seriousness quickly made her one of the most beloved faces on screen at the time. Entering 2007, she competed in the Miss Hong Kong pageant, dedicating herself to practicing every catwalk step and every interview response. Although she didn't make the top 3, she still won the Tourism Ambassador Award, and audiences began referring to her by the nickname the Gigi Lai lookalike. Around the same time, being accepted into the 22nd TVB artist training class opened a new door in her career, allowing her to train in acting while also appearing in numerous TV dramas such as Off Pedder, Beyond the Realm of Conscience, and Highs and Lows. While she didn't achieve a major breakthrough, she was consistently praised for her hard work and politeness. As Lily Ho was pushing forward in her career step by step, the biggest storm of her life was quietly forming behind her. In 2009, her father, Ho Sai Khan, began to fall into a severe business crisis. Rapid overexpansion, excessive inventory, and a declining economy pushed his company to the edge of bankruptcy. A debt of more than 14 million US dollars became a crushing burden, leaving Ho Sai Khan nearly hopeless. The media at the time captured images of him looking drastically thinner, suffering from chronic insomnia. He was surrounded by pressure from creditors, and the man once known as the shop king of Cheung now appeared completely exhausted. Amid these hardships, Ho Sai Khan made a decision that would alter the fate of the entire family. He set his sights on Kin Ming Lam, a Hong Kong tycoon famous for both his wealth and his scandals. Knowing Lam had a particular fondness for young, beautiful women, Ho Sai Khan initially intended to introduce his eldest daughter, Gigi Ho. But Gigi held a firm stance. She was in love with a lawyer, had built a stable career, and refused to become an object of exchange to resolve the family's financial troubles. The dinner, arranged with a clear purpose, ended in heavy silence when Gigi stood up and left, shifting the responsibility onto Lily Ho. After his plan involving the older daughter failed, Hosai Khan turned to persuade Lily. Unlike before, this time he used tears, memories of raising his children through hardship, and desperate pleading. The man who had once been powerful now collapsed emotionally, saying that if he went bankrupt, the only way out for him would be to jump off a building. Lily Ho's soft heart couldn't bear that image. Even though she knew her choice would change the course of her life forever, she agreed to meet Kin Ming Lam, a man 1 year older than her father and 51 years older than her. To understand this fateful turning point, it's necessary to look closely at who Kin Ming Lam was. Born in 1937 in Chaoyang, Shantou, he was the eldest son of Lim Por-yen, the founder of Lai Soon Group. From a simple roadside newspaper stall started with just $1.67, his father built an empire with over $77 billion in liquid assets. Although Kin Ming Lam did not inherit the entire fortune when his father passed away in 2005, he still possessed tens of billions of USD, enough to place him among the most influential tycoons. Yet what made him notorious was his own claims of having had more than 1,000 sexual partners, contracting sexually transmitted diseases 3 times, and maintaining mostly non-committal relationships. Kin Ming Lam's romantic history stretched over 3 decades, ranging from flings in France and Denmark to 2 official marriages. His first wife, Zhuang Suming, a lawyer, divorced him due to disagreements over having children. His second wife, Lin Peichang, was beautiful and elegant, but the marriage ended because of his infidelity. Afterward, he lived with Wang Mei, with whom he had 2 children, Lin Xiaoxin and the older daughter, Lin Weishan. After these breakups, he openly stated that he no longer intended to enter another marriage. What he sought was merely to continue the family bloodline, not to find another life partner. Surprisingly, when Lily Ho appeared, everything changed in an unexpected way. With her pure beauty, whisper-soft voice, and attentive eyes, she took a man as seasoned as Kin Ming Lam from amused interest to complete fascination. He expressed his affection publicly, taking her to events, bringing her to his racecourse, and even introducing her to his friends. Yet behind those seemingly romantic moments lay a painful truth. Lily Ho was acting solely according to her father's wishes. She felt no romantic affection for the man. If anything, she saw him as a senior elder in the family. Still, to help her family survive their crisis, she was forced to hold his hand in front of cameras, lean gently on his shoulder, and give him respectful glances. Kin Ming Lam's infatuation quickly turned into action. Almost immediately, he paid off Hosai Khan's debts, $14 million, and even gave an additional $520,000 for her father to rebuild his trading company. But the real storm came from the public. Photos of Lily Ho holding Kin Ming Lam's hand appeared non-stop in newspapers. Some mocked her as money-hungry, while others pitied her, saying she was forced by her father. Even worse, many Hong Kong tabloids used the phrase "selling one's daughter for personal gain" to describe Hosai Khan's actions. They accused him of pushing his daughter into a painful transactional relationship just to save himself. In the face of these comments, Lily chose silence to avoid escalating the situation. If it had only been public criticism, Lily might still have endured it. But things grew far more complicated when Kin Ming Lam's feelings went much deeper than she ever anticipated. He brought her to high-profile events and showered her with gifts, from jewelry and clothing to monthly allowances worth millions of USD, things she found difficult to refuse. During that time, Hosai Khan's financial situation gradually recovered. His debts shrank, and the burden of responsibility on Lily's shoulders no longer felt as suffocating as before. With that, Lily began trying to distance herself from the imbalanced relationship, limiting contact, giving lukewarm responses, and avoiding standing beside Kin Ming Lam in front of the media. The breaking point came when she publicly declared to reporters that their connection was merely an uncle-niece relationship. That statement made a man as experienced as Kin Ming Lam feel abandoned for the first time in his life. The truth became undeniable the day the media captured photos of Lily Ho and Kin Ming Lam holding hands while attending an Eason Chan concert. In the dim hall, they whispered into each other's ears, their heads touching, appearing exactly like a couple in love. The photo spread at lightning speed, and the media labeled their relationship a grandfather-granddaughter romance. Just 24 hours later, Lily Ho immediately held a press conference to deny everything. She said they were not intimate at all, and that she had only leaned toward him to avoid attracting negative attention. What shocked the public even more was Kin Ming Lam's reaction when reporters questioned him. Right at that moment, he burst into tears on camera, choking up as he revealed that she was refusing to take his calls. While social media was still reeling from Kin Ming Lam's tears, another bombshell dropped. Just 30 days after denying the grandfather-granddaughter romance, Lily Ho was spotted embracing and kissing singer Hinson Cho on the streets of Causeway Bay. They kissed 13 times, then held hands to watch Cantonese opera, and afterward went to a Simsha Tsui hotel for 4 hours. Hinson Cho was not a well-known artist, but he was the son of real estate tycoon Zhou Yede, known as the King of Sai Kung. Hinson Cho's involvement shifted public opinion yet again. People wondered how a relatively unknown singer could sweep Lily Ho off her feet so quickly. The answer largely lay in his background. He was the son of Zhou Yede, the largest landowner in Sai Kung. From his private villa to his luxury sports car, his lifestyle was as extravagant as any elite heir. When Lily Ho publicly stated that she was in love and had met his parents, the public believed she had finally escaped the shadow of the grandfather-granddaughter romance. However, the relationship cracked unexpectedly after only 14 days. One evening, Lily posted a breakup message on her social media, saying she was not ready for love and wanted to focus on her career. Fans were shocked by how abruptly everything ended, but just a few days later, paparazzi caught her leaving Television Broadcast Limited, TVB, after work, and secretly getting into Hinson Cho's car. The two went home to his place and did not reappear until the next afternoon, fueling widespread speculation across entertainment tabloids about their ongoing relationship. While the public was still discussing their discreet involvement, another turning point appeared in Lily Ho's life. After her contract with TVB ended in 2015, she unexpectedly returned to Kin Ming Lam's side and signed with Big Honor Entertainment under his direct sponsorship. The ceremony was lavish. The grand hall was decorated entirely in white. Lily wore 3 different white dresses, and Kin Ming Lam presented her with a 4-carat diamond ring, reinforcing her special position in his life. But behind that elegant appearance, her life was split in two. By day, she accompanied Kin Ming Lam to the racecourse, choosing horses and attending events. By night, she quietly met up with Hinson Cho for dinner, movies, and moments of emotional freedom. This love triangle soon came to an end during Christmas 2015, when Hinson Cho publicly revealed the reason for their breakup. First, his father disapproved due to Lily Ho's past with Kin Ming Lam, and secondly, he accused her of demanding $25,700 per month to support herself and provide for her father. This news immediately caused an online firestorm, turning her image into the center of heated debate. But shortly afterward, both Lily Ho and her sister, Gigi Ho, stated that his accusations were fabricated, defamatory, and that they were prepared to take legal action if he continued. While public opinion had yet to settle, Ho Sai Khan's life took another positive turn. His company began receiving increasing orders from Southeast Asia again, and the factory expanded. This meant that Lily Ho no longer had to shoulder the burden of saving the family as before. At the same time, as Kin Ming Lam turned 80, he hosted a grand birthday celebration at a hotel in Simsha Tsui. There, she gifted him a white jade horse sculpture and called him her godfather. He, in return, presented her with a golden bowl, symbolically putting an official end to the rumors of their grandfather-granddaughter romance. As everything gradually settled down, Lily Ho chose to disappear from the Hong Kong entertainment scene. Beginning in 2018, she quietly moved to mainland China to advance her career, joining productions such as The Way We Were, acting alongside Tiffany Tang. Her supporting role surprised audiences with noticeably improved acting. Her eyes conveyed more depth, her dialogue delivery felt natural, and her presence carried a more mature aura. Alongside acting, she opened accounts on Weibo and Xiaohongshu, posting about fitness, wellness, and travel. Thanks to her consistent, relatable content, her follower count grew steadily, helping her gradually rebuild her public image after years of scandal. Parallel to reshaping her image, Lily Ho also decided to change her stage name. In April 2019, she announced her new name, Hei Tian'er, explaining that it symbolized the beginning of a new day and represented her desire to cut ties with a turbulent past. Many saw this decision as a belated but necessary step toward maturity. From a girl once labeled sold by her father or relying on a tycoon for personal gain, she now aimed to become a self-sufficient woman, building her career through her own efforts rather than sacrifice or compromise. Meanwhile, Qin Ming Lam continued his characteristic playboy lifestyle. After Lily Ho left his life, the media repeatedly captured him accompanied by various university-aged women, young enough to regard him as an elder rather than a romantic partner. His pattern of dating young women continued into 2019. At age 82, he appeared at a Jackie Chung concert with a young companion, still carrying himself with the same confidence and energy he had displayed for decades. Regardless of public opinion, his lifestyle remained unchanged. He continued pursuing whatever brought him joy and lived according to his own terms. However, by January 2021, the story took a sorrowful turn. Qin Ming Lam was diagnosed with lymphoma, and his condition deteriorated rapidly. He was swiftly admitted to the Hong Kong sanatorium and hospital, where he spent the final days of his life. The man who had once experienced more than 1,000 romances and stood at the peak of Hong Kong's financial power now lay quietly on a hospital bed. On January 8, 2021, he passed away at the age of 83. Media reports stated that he left behind approximately $1.2 billion in assets divided among his 4 children, with a significant portion left to Lily Ho as his final gift. The funeral of Qin Ming Lam also drew many prominent figures from Hong Kong's business and entertainment circles. Even though their romantic ties had ended years earlier, Lily Ho still attended. She wore black and stood before his portrait with reddened eyes. On the platform, she spoke in a trembling voice, recalling the years she had once spent by his side, calmly, without avoiding the past, yet without embellishing it. After the funeral, she posted a long message on social media, thanking her godfather for the care he had given her and wishing him peace in his rest. Since then, Lily Ho has devoted most of her time to her career and personal life. She enrolled in nutrition courses, studied wellness, and maintained a consistent fitness routine. On Xiaohongshu and Weibo, she shared workout tips, nutritious meal plans, and her positive outlook on life. Her photos show her healthier and more radiant, as though she has truly stepped out from the shadows of her past. But what surprises her followers most isn't the change in her appearance. It's the gentleness in her spirit, something she had once lost while living a life that never truly belonged to her. Looking back at her journey, it's clear that Lily Ho is a figure full of contradictions, born into wealth but deprived of autonomy, famous yet paying for it with her youth and freedom, capable of loving deeply but caught in misunderstanding and controversy. Still, her path to maturity reveals something simple yet rare in Hong Kong's entertainment industry: the ability to rise again after years of being crushed by judgment. Today, she no longer lives for her father, nor forces herself to please anyone else. Instead, she dedicates the road ahead entirely to herself, with calmness, clarity, and more independence than ever before. What are your thoughts on this story? Leave a comment below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe.